butter. You heard the television advert for this. Something for everyone. I don't know how it goes. I don't know how it goes, I just heard it on the telly. Oh my god, it's got a theme tune. Hello beauties, welcome back to the Jolie Beauty channel. My name is Jolie Cash and I'm a makeup artist and CEO of cruelty-free beauty company Jolie Beauty. I hope everybody is having a fabulous February so far, even with the lockdown, and you're all coping and you're all staying healthy. So Valentine's Day is obviously on the approach, and in the UK it's looking like we're not really going anywhere. So I thought this year, instead of doing a bold and dramatic look, why not do something super wearable, super, you know, on your sofa glam, whatever you are doing this year. So I thought I'd take a little bit of inspiration from the pinks in the Proud palette and came up with this soft pink romantic look. I feel like this is such a beautiful look on anyone, the soft pinks with the glowing skin and just that touch of makeup to make you feel a little bit glam on Valentine's Day this year. Whether you've got someone to share it with or you're doing some Netflix and a crisps on the sofa, then I hope you enjoy the tutorial, and yeah, let's get on with the look. I'm going for a soft romantic look today with some glowing skin. So today, unusually, I am going to be starting with my skin and then moving on to the eyes. Of course, I'm taking my absolute fave. This is my Uni-Glow Perfecting Elixir, just to prime my skin and make it really lovely and hydrated. This gives a gorgeous glow to the skin. And if you're looking for that lit from within look, then this is definitely the way to do it. If you're a little bit oily, I'd recommend that you could put this maybe on your cheeks and on the edges of your forehead here, and that'll give you a nice glowing look. But when your natural oils start to push through, it'll make your makeup last a little bit longer. Next, I'm taking the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter. This is in the shade Medium. I really want my skin to be extra glowy today, and this has some light reflective particles which help add a tiny little bit of coverage, but it means I can use a little bit less foundation on the skin. I'm just going to tap that onto the places where I want a little bit more glow to shine through, which is definitely the top of my cheekbones, and a small amount just on my forehead as well, and using the rest just over the rest of my face. Again, if you're a little bit more oily, you could just use it on the perimeters of your face here, leaving the T-zone a little bit more clear of that kind of product, and again, this will just help the longevity of your makeup. As you can see, the skin is starting to look really nice and glowy. To emphasise that even more, I'm going to be using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Luminous Foundation. This one is in the shade 315N. I'm just taking that on a foundation brush, and I'm going to use a sheer amount of this product. I don't want anything too full coverage today. As I said, I'm going for like a glowing romantic look. So I'm just going to make sure I get that foundation and I really work it into the skin. This means I'm going to use a few different techniques such as stippling and buffing. And I just want to even my skin tone out. I don't want to add too much coverage. If we need a little bit more coverage, we can always add with our concealer. Oh, something made my nose tickle. So I hope everybody's doing well in lockdown 3.0. Thought Valentine's Day makeup this year could be a little bit lighter, a little bit more fresh. I feel like this year we're all going to get a little bit glam, but you know, maybe in a different, softer kind of way than our usual red lips and wings if we're staying in. So that's why I decided to do a lovely soft pink look. I think this is so wearable for whatever occasion, even if you're staying on the sofa with a bag of crisps. Can you hear that? I don't know if that's big enough for a microphone, but my belly's going crazy. It's just thinking about crisps. And it's just good to take a little bit of that down onto the neck as well, just to make sure you're all looking one nice colour. I only used around one pump of that foundation, and with all the beautiful hydrating products that I put underneath, that's enough just to sheer out my complexion and give me a little bit of coverage, but still give me a glow to my skin as well. I'm just going to add a little bit of concealer, and I'm going to be adding this underneath my eyes, a little bit on my forehead and my chin, just everywhere that needs a little bit of extra coverage usually. I would show you the concealer, but this is an extra special concealer, so if you've been on my channel a while you will know what that means, and that means yes, there is concealer in the pipeline for Jolie Beauty and it's coming very very soon, so watch this space. I like to focus my concealer on my eyes on the inner and then just a touch on the outer as well, and I'm just gonna buff that in with a brush, and this is just gonna lift my face and just give me that perfect bright under eye, but also it's just going to look lovely and natural as well, even though it's giving me loads and loads of coverage. Honestly, since we've been developing this concealer, I can't bear to use anything else. I just my other concealers are there and I just want to reach for that one all the time, so that's why I'm being a bit naughty and showing you a little preview today. I will be letting you guys know some more details about it very 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 soon. And again, because I'm looking for a really soft look, I'm just making sure that I'm like buffing that into the skin so well. And I'm definitely going to add just a touch on my chin as well, because this is where I tend to get my makeup moving the most. So by adding just a little bit of an extra layer there, it just helps it stay a little bit longer. As I've just put concealer underneath my eyes, I'm just going to lightly set that, not with too much powder, just a little bit, and for that I'm using the Charlotte Tilbury, and this is the Airbrush Flawless Finish Powder in the shade Medium. And I'm just lightly going to make sure first that there's no creasing underneath my eye or even on my eyelid as well, because I am going to put a little bit of powder there as well, and just using a light amount. I'm going underneath my eye and just on top of my lid as well. Obviously when I'm doing really colourful looks, I want as much pigment as possible, so that's why I use a tacky base such as the P. Louise base. However, today I'm going for a wash of colour, a soft romantic look, so I'm going to be using these shadows on top of the powdered eyelid, which gives a much softer effect. I'm also just going to dust a little bit around my nose and my chin, just everywhere that I want to keep matte. Now we're going to add a little bit of definition back into the face. So I'm going to be using the cream bronzer from Fenty Beauty. This is in the shade Butter Biscuit, and I find this quite a cool shade on me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this to almost contour and sculpt, and then I'm going to set it in place with my powder bronzer. So I'm just going to start pushing that into my cheekbones and blending it upwards. Remember that I haven't put any powder products here yet, so this is why I can use the cream. If you'd already powdered the rest of your face here, I'd recommend just going in with a powder bronzer instead. And as you can see, that looks almost a little bit grey on me, so it works really well for me, not as a bronzer but more as a contour shade, and that's why I can use it underneath my chin. I also like to add a little bit on the tip of my nose just to shorten it a little bit, and on the sides of my forehead as well. I'm going to go over and just set it into place with a powder bronzer. To do that, I'm using the Second Skin bronzer. This is in the shade Latte, and not only is this going to set that cream bronzer product in place, it's also going to add a little bit more warmth into my skin as well. As I said, the cream bronzer is a little bit on the grey side, so this will give me a nice glowy look. And I'm just going to take that all over those places that I put that cream bronzer, and I like to take a little bit underneath my neck as well, just to make sure I'm looking almost the same colour on my face to my neck. Definitely not always the case. Now it's time for blush, probably one of the most important products when we think about Valentine's Day. I always think Valentine's Day of like gorgeous romantic dewy skin and just that gorgeous kind of pinky flush to the skin as well. I'm going in with the shade Rendezvous from the Second Skin collection, which is the perfect mix of a little bit of peach and a little bit of pink. So I'm taking this on a fluffy brush and just going along the tops of my cheekbones, just above where we've put that bronzer. This is going to give us that kind of flushed romantic kind of look to the skin. The amazing thing with the formula of the Second Skin collection is you can make it just a beautiful wash of colour, or you can build it up. And I'm really sorry if you can hear all that in the background about my builders. I've just decided that they're going to demolish a wall outside, so it sounds. Hopefully that's not too distracting. Next, I'm just taking a little bit of a contour shade from the Perfectly Sculpted Contour palette. So I'm just going to take that contour shade and I'm just going to add a little bit to the end of my nose just to shorten it, and just run really tiny amounts down the sides of my nose as well. It's just going to give my nose a little bit extra definition. Because this look is quite light, I don't want to add too much contour, too much structure. I want it to be like nice and romantic, so I'm not going too overboard with adding like contour on my nose or anything. I really feel like this look is screaming out for a few faux freckles.
Faux freckles?
Faux freckles. So I'm going to take that Perfectly Sculpted Contour palette again, and just this deep brown shade, which is a really nice freckle colour. Taking that on a small line brush, I'm just going to tap that brush a little bit into the product. I'm just going to add some little freckles just to the sides of my nose like that, and then quickly get my finger and just tap over them. And as you can see, that just gives like a nice natural freckles kind of look to the skin. So there it is, quite harsh, but then when I tap it in, it looks a little bit like freckles. And you can probably do that with any type of powder. I could add a few onto my cheeks as well. I think that just gives a beautiful extra element to this kind of skin look. That kind of flushed, romantic. I don't know how to describe it. You could also alternate the colours a little bit. That always makes freckles look a little bit more natural as well. So use a dark brown and then a light brown, and that will give a little bit of difference in tone, which is what you normally see when you see people with natural freckles. So I'm not going too crazy, I'm just going to add a little bit like that, but I think it just gives a lovely extra element to the skin. So I'm going to move on to the eyes. I might add some highlighter onto the face, but I'm just going to see what I feel like at the end. It depends on how much shimmer I'm going to be using on the eyes and stuff. So I'm just going to hold off for now, and then maybe I'll add some highlighter if I feel like the look calls for it. I just love that about makeup, like sometimes you don't have everything planned until you start seeing it come together, and that's part of the fun. Let's get these brows into shape. So I'm just going to brush them up a little bit, and I want them to look quite fluffy and a bit messy. So I'm just going to brush them up and then just lightly fill in any little bits that might need an additional little bit of colour. For this I'm using the NYX Micro Brow Pencil, and this is in the shade Ash Brown. And I'm not making these brows very structured at all. I just want them to look fluffy and natural, and just kind of reminds me of like Renaissance paintings, you know, where the women have like those kind of like flush cheeks, and I don't know. It's very romantic, a little bit French, and a little bit like you're wandering around Paris in the cold. Je ne sais quoi. Sorry if you're French, I know that was pretty. And I just like to give the brows a little comb through just with the product in, and that just makes them look a little bit less heavy and a lot more natural. And we're on to eyeshadow. As I said before, I wanted to use really soft colours in this look, so I'm going to be using the pinks from the Proud palette, and the first shade that I'm going into is the shade Stephen, which is the lightest pink here. Why do all my brushes go missing when I need them? Oh, before I do that though, a really good tip, if I can find it. Oh, I've got it in my hand. Does anyone else do that, or is it just me? I'm just going to go in with a little bit of the powder bronzer that I was using before, and I'm just going to add that into my crease. This will just help the colours blend into the skin a little bit more, and it just brings the look together. So I love to do this when I'm doing, also means I won't bring that pink too high. It'll give me a kind of guideline of wherever I want to stop, because I want it to be like quite classy, you know, I don't want pink all the way. I mean, not classic. I want it to be classic. So I don't want the pink to be like all the way up to here, like when I'm doing a creative look. I want to make sure it's like fitted to my eye shape and very complementary. And by putting that shade there, it just means I'm not going to take that pink too high. And just winging it out a little bit on the outer edge. You can also bring this in to that contour that we put on the nose, and it gives you quite a bit of like a structured look there. Sorry, I just love playing with these different shapes, as you can see. So now we're on to eyeshadow. So I am taking that shade Stephen on a fluffy brush, which is a gorgeous baby pink colour, and just tapping that off, I'm just gonna wash that all into my crease. And this is just the most gorgeous light baby pink. So stunning. And because we're doing it on top of a powdery base, it means it just gives a gorgeous like wash of colour, nothing too intense. And that's exactly what I'm going for in this look. I just want it to be super soft, super romantic. And I think sometimes when you're playing with different colours, actually getting a more subtle look out of your colour palettes can be more challenging than when you're doing something vibrant. It's quite easy to go a little bit too far and make the look super colourful. So if you like tutorials that show you a bit more of a soft glam, then just let me know, because I love doing these kind of looks and they are so wearable. Just to add a little something through the crease, I'm going for the medium pink shade in this palette, and this is quite a vibrant pink. So I'm going to go super carefully with this, and I'm just going to tap this into the crease of my eye using a smaller brush. I just want this to give a little bit of definition, so I'm just going to use forward and backward motions, really feeling for my crease, making sure that the depth of colour is most concentrated on the outer corner. And I don't want to move this colour inwards too much. I really want this to stay a nice light shade. Again, I just want this to be a beautiful soft pink look. If you feel like it's going a little bit too harsh, you can always go in with your other brush and just go over it with the light pink, and that will soften it down, just take it back to that kind of romantic baby pink. As I was just saying, I really want the inners of my eyes to be the focal point of this look. So if you have a matte cream eyeshadow shade, it would be good just to place that on the inner corner. I've just got my perfectly sculpted palette in front of me, and this shade is pretty perfect, so I'm just going to go in with that, and I'm just going to pat that on my inner corner just to brighten that up and bring it forward. You can add a little bit of this onto your inner tear duct as well. That really gives a beautiful wide-eyed look. And that cream shade, you'll see, just really opens up the eyes. I definitely need a little bit of liner in this look. I think the eyes just need a little bit more definition as the colours are so light. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tight line my inner waterline, my top inner waterline, with the Infinity Gel eyeliner. If you ever want to add just a bit of definition to your eye, then I definitely recommend lining the top waterline. It will help make your lashes look a little bit longer when you apply your mascara, and it will also give definition to the eye, like in a really soft, natural way. I'd like to add a little bit more definition to the top line, so I'm going in with the shade Ruby on a smudgy brush. The Ruby shade is a beautiful dark pink, almost purple, and I'm just going to add that along my lash line. Just blending it out slightly. I really don't want this to be a liner. I just want it to be a touch of darker pink next to where I put that eyeliner, and that just gives a little bit more definition to the eye. Now, this is totally optional, but you might want to add a little bit of glitter. You could just completely leave this matte, but I am tempted just to pop a little bit of glitter on as well. And I feel like the shade Ballet would be a gorgeous addition to this look. I'm just going to add the smallest amount just in the middle of my eye. I'm just going to pop this on with my finger because I want it pretty sheer. And I'm just going to pop it on there. And like I said, I'm not trying to build it up too much. I'm trying to make it quite sparse, so it's just a touch of glitter. I couldn't help myself, guys. I just needed a bit of glitter. On the underneath my eyes, I'm going to take that ruby shade, the darkest pink, and just buff that into my lash line, just to give a little bit of definition, but nothing too crazy. Again, I want to keep this nice and soft. I don't want anything too harsh. And this will just marry the look together. So I want to make sure my eyes are looking nice and bright. I feel like with this kind of look, you kind of want that youthful, bright-eyed, glossy skin kind of feel. So I'm just going to take the P. Louise blank canvas, and I'm just going to pop a tiny bit of this in my bottom waterline. As you can see from one eye to the other now, just how much more open that eye looks compared to this one. It almost gives you, you know, if I was going to use black eyeliner, that eye would really pop out, but it'd make it look smaller. So using the lighter colour is going to reverse that effect and open my eyes up more, which is exactly what I want. Because we're probably all going to be staying in our houses this year, unfortunately, I don't think that I'm going to do any false lashes. I'm going to work with my natural lashes. So the most important thing when working with your natural lashes is to give them a curl. Do not forget this step. It makes such a big difference. I know so many people that use mascara all the time, they don't curl their lashes, and when they try it, they're like so shocked what a difference it makes. Honestly, if you do not curl your lashes, you need to get on that. So I'm just going in with my trusty curlers and just giving them a bit of a poke. I normally do this for about 10 seconds, just making sure you're not catching any skin. Although we're doing pink eyes, we don't want actual pink, like injured eyes. And I'm just going to top that off with a little bit of the Essence Lash Princess Mascara. And guys, when I tell you just how much my lashes have grown in the last 2 weeks, because I've been using my Ridiculous, they're starting to get super duper long, and it's only been not even 2 weeks, 10 days. I am doing a process video with it, so eventually you will see the process of me from 0 to 2 weeks to 4 weeks and then to 6 weeks. So you'll see basically how much my lashes grew with the product. So that'll be coming out probably in March time. That's when my 6-week period will be over. So if you guys are interested in seeing that, then definitely make sure you're subscribed to the channel. And I'm just adding a little bit to my bottom lashes as well. Looking at the skin and everything, I've decided I do want to add a little bit of highlighter. So I'm going in with the shade Dreaming from the Second Skin collection. And I'm just going to add a little bit of this on the top of my cheeks, just to add a little bit of glow to the skin. I'm also going to take a small pencil brush and just add a tiny bit into my tear duct area as well, just to brighten that up. So for lips today, I want to keep them pretty simple. I'm going for this pinky nude. This is You Go Girl lip liner by Doll Beauty. I'm just lightly lining my lips and using the pencil just to ombre them a tiny bit. And then for the centre, I want to keep it like really just nude and glossy. So I'm going to use this lip oil by ELF. This is in the shade Nude Kiss. I'm just making sure that blends all together. I think that just ties in so perfectly with the pink eyes. So guys, that's the final look for today. I hope you enjoyed something a little bit different, using a touch of colour but in such a beautiful, subtle way. I hope this is a nice wearable look for you. I would like to know what you want to see more of on the channel. Do you like the more creative looks, or are you more into the more wearable, softer looks? Let me know in the comments section down below. And whilst you're there, make sure to give the video a big thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. I know some people haven't been getting their notifications recently, so make sure that you've got them turned on and YouTube will notify you every time we upload a video. Until next time, beauties, I'll see you in the next one. Mwah!